Hello people, thank you for clicking on this video. This is sort of a new thing I might start doing, and that's talking about comics. Because if you did not know, I like comic books. Stuff like Marvel, DC, and much more like Hellboy and so on. But today I've decided to talk about the newest Transformer comics that have been coming out right now. Now, I only have 4 issues. I don't know if there's more out right now. I need to check on that. But yeah, basically my plan is to give you a basic idea of this comic, and if you like what it's about, maybe you want to read it.
The Transformers will return after these messages. We now return to the Transformers.
The main story is very much like the original G1 Transformers, so the original cartoon show. But they do change certain things up, but the main basic idea of the Autobots crashing on Earth and laying dormant for years is still in the story.
The Transformers, more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons.
But they change things like Spike. Now, if you don't know who Spike is, Spike was a character from the original cartoon. He was basically the main human character who would team up with the Autobots. Now, in the comic, they change his design and sort of his personality, but I think it's still very much his adventurousness is there. Like, he's curious and wants to explore this world, what I feel like is very intact with his original Generation 1 version of himself. But one thing that is extremely different is Spike's father, who's normally called Sparkplug. I don't know if they actually give him that name. I know they call him Sparky as a nickname. But basically, in this version, Spike had a brother, but he ended up dying in some sort of military thing. Was caused Spike's father to kind of worry about where Spike is heading and doesn't want anything bad to happen to him. But also Spike's dad's not the best, with him being very alcoholic and just not always there for Spike when Spike needs him. Anyway, eventually Spike and his friend Carly end up finding the Autobots' crash ship, whereas a bunch of Decepticons and Autobots lying there destroyed. But they are quickly reactivated by the ship as Jetfire, who's a character from the original cartoon, also activates it. Now, Jetfire knows nothing about the war on Cybertron, so he doesn't realize the Decepticons are evil or villainous.
Skyfire and I were both explorers from Cybertron.
That must have been shortly before our final falling out with the Autobots.
Yes, Skyfire and I were exploring what was an uncharted planet at that time. This one, Earth. We detected no intelligent life on the surface, but Skyfire insisted we look closer. A polar windstorm came up suddenly, and Skyfire and I were separated. I circled half the globe searching for him, but he was gone.
The first Transformers to be reactivated and built is Starscream, what obviously causes problems very fast. Starscream and everyone begin fighting. What causes the machine to not work as it's been the ship's getting shot at multiple times. What causes not many Autobots or Decepticons to get rebuilt. Also, eventually Optimus needs to destroy the ship fully, as that's the only way to get out of there, as there's only a small amount of Autobots what get rebuilt, so they get surrounded pretty quickly. But basically, Starscream deems himself as the leader of the Decepticons now, as Megatron wasn't rebuilt, even though the plan is for them to eventually be able to rebuild all the Decepticons to create an army again. Cause the Autobots also don't have an army at the moment. As the ship's destroyed, what is like one of the main parts of this story also, on how the Autobots and Decepticons are both trying to make sure their members can come back to life so they can win this war. Now, one character this comic I think gets completely right is Optimus. Cause most people know Optimus Prime as this leader, strong, he can fire in a gunfight and win, but a lot of I feel like media forgets his kindness towards people, and that he isn't just this ruthless or cold, unemotional character. He has a lot of compassion and care for what he's doing. He's doing this to help millions of people he cares about, and even people he deems as enemies, he wishes could see his way and join his side. And this comic does it amazingly. Either it's him seeing the beauty and the Earth all together and seeing how great it is, as he feels bad for bringing the Decepticons to Earth, as it's going to hurt millions if the war keeps going on there. Visually, this comic looks great. I think it's written and drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson, but also Mike Spicer, I think that's how you pronounce it, is involved. I don't know much. I tried looking into the credits behind the comics. I couldn't get much, so if someone knows more about it, then comment it down below. But I want to give both people credit, because I felt bad if I didn't. But yeah, visually, everything looks great, even the way the Transformers transform. What I will say is done great in this, because I know the G1 designs aren't exactly vehicle accurate, so trying to make it look like they actually become the things they're turning in is probably difficult, but the comic does it great. Also, action scenes are done amazingly. Some people pointed out that the comic uses a lot of wrestling moves as action stuff, what I think is fun. It's fun to see Starscream try and be a leader, because it's very obvious Starscream wants to be leader, but he wouldn't actually make a good leader. He has too much of an ego and is too selfish to care about his other Decepticons. he mostly wants to be a leader because he then is at a higher rank than everybody. But in this comic, they make him brutal. He's like killing humans with no remorse in this comic, literally laughing at them as they die. There's also a fun reference to G.I. Joe, so if you like G.I. Joe, then you'll probably enjoy that. Or maybe you won't, I don't know. I know some people don't like the idea of the Transformers meeting G.I. Joe. I'm kinda fine with it, I think it's fun. Overall, I just really enjoy this comic series. It's fun. If you've read it, you might like it. Or maybe you don't, maybe you wanted something different. But in my opinion, I think it's fun. I think it gets Optimus Prime perfect. Same with our characters, who I didn't want to talk too much in case you haven't read it, but there is a good amount of characters who show up, and some more obscure Autobots who I think deserve more time in the spotlight, and they certainly get it here. But yeah, if I'm rating this, I guess I could do that. I would give this film 4 out of comic 4 out of 5 stars, or maybe even 5 out of 5 stars. Overall, it's just a very entertaining comic, and I'm excited to see what happens in the future with it. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, then like it, or even subscribe. Or dislike, I don't know what you want to do. If you've read the comic series, then maybe comment your thoughts on it. But once again, try and keep it spoiler free. I really think people should try and give this comic a look. Comics are very fun, and I suggest for a lot of people get into them. This video is just a way to also suggest some, and it might become a series of videos, or it won't. Matters how well this does. But yeah, thank you, and that's all. Goodbye.